Thursday evening. It's Têkkel Talk Show Live. Welcome once again, guys. Alberic, are you fine? Are you well? After, it's been a difficult weekend for you as well, but we'll get into that. But things are fine on that side in Kuils River.
Everything is all good. Thanks, Annie. Thanks. We're not going to talk about this weekend's results. Oh, do we have to? We don't have to. We can skip. We can go right past it.
I think following our interview with Mochidisi Mohono, the super sport presenter, we're just going to touch on it. We're just going to briefly touch on what happened in the Rainbow Cup. There were a few predictions. Yeah, we just flight it because tonight, obviously, again, to all the viewers, I'm greeting you there in Gauteng. I see there's a lot of people from Kimberley. Tonight, it's all about our special guest. You probably saw our flyers going around. But, Alberic, it's not going to be fair. We just need to briefly look at some of the Rainbow Cup results. And there we have it.
I think that's.
You want to speak? You want to just talk us through that quickly?
It's very quick. Bulls 22, Lions 9, Stormers 30, Sharks 33. Correct. Let's move on. Can we go on? Thank you.
Let's just zoom on to the results. The Sharks taking it against the Stormers there, but I'm not sure whether Alberic got the results right there but nonetheless, the Stormers lost again. Moving on to the fixtures, Alberic, for this weekend. I know he deliberately shambled it up to confuse you guys there, but there we have the fixtures again. So the Stormers would have a chance to beat the Lions. I'm not sure whether they are capable of doing that, but I'm hoping for Alberic's sake. And then obviously the Sharks, my beloved Sharks, taking on the Bulls at Loftus Versfeld. Alberic, the Stormers' chances there in that fixture?
Are we still talking rugby? As we can move on now. We can move right on. Look, we always have a chance. So yeah, guys, I'm still going to be rooting all the way. So keep on watching. Stormers fans, don't give up. That's all I can say. Don't give up.
Don't give up, guys. And thanks so much for your feedback. Last week we had a bumper show with Mochidisi Mohono, the super sport commentator, live on our show. We had some insight. And to all of you who participated in that show, for all of you that sent a comment, we couldn't get to all of them. Thanks so much. It was a really great show. And what a privilege, Alberic, to have one of Super Sports anchors on Têkkel Talk Show Live last week.
No, exactly. And she gave some amazing insight to actually what goes down behind the scenes and the amount of work that has to go into it. I mean, all we see is we press on the remote and we have sport on TV, and she was telling us about the amount of cabling gets done, the amount of pre-planning is done. It's amazing. So yeah, big up to her and big up to the rest of the team.
No, great stuff, guys. Getting right into it tonight. We told you right in the beginning of the series, Alberic, we said we're gonna get some big names in, and obviously some of the names we said, who do you want to see on the show? And some of the names that came in was one or more of South Africa's most renowned television superstars. And tonight we have someone who's got more than 20 years experience. We saw her on numerous sitcoms, numerous soapies, but also the one that I watched out was obviously the Powerball and the Lotto show. We saw her on that show. As die bolletjies uitkom, daar was almal duim vas because she was calling the shots. All the balls coming, hopefully to change your fortune. But obviously tonight, it's a great honor to welcome on the Têkkel Talk Show Live, none else but Jolene Martin. Jolene, welcome to Têkkel Talk Show Live. What an honor, what a privilege to have you.
Hi, fellas. So good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
What an honor to have you
on. It right.
We don't know. We've got people behind the scenes, obviously talking to your people, and it was some time coming. But Jolene Martin on Têkkel Talk Show Live. What an honor, what a privilege. Let's get into it immediately. Tell us a little bit about Jolene. who you are, where you come from, and where things started for you as Jolene.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. First of all, Alberic, I'm sending you a virtual hug for the calamitous weekend you've just had.
Thank you.
Sorry, it happens all the time. He will be in for another one next weekend.
Yeah.
Then I'm a KP by birth. I was born in Cape Town. I was born in an area called Balthorn, and then I did most of my growing up in Mitchell's Plain. And then my parents moved to Crawford, and so I did some growing up there. I started TV presenting when I was 13 years old, which is, you know, connected to the fact that you've said I've been on television for more than 20 years now. It is hard to say that number out loud, I must admit. I went to Joburg because obviously that was the natural place to go to if you wanted to be in the television industry. Had a phenomenal career, a fantastic 20 years in Johannesburg. And then recently, or not recently, but 3 years ago, I came back to play Beatrice in Arendsvlei. So in a nutshell, that's me.
Fantastic. I mean, that's already a illustrious career on its own. You know, with the change to digital, we spoke earlier about it. You know, you've been in the industry for so long. The change to digital, how different was this era compared to what it was, say, 20 years ago?
It's crazy. It's and to give you an idea, just the fact that we can have all sorts of apps on our phones now, and watch TV shows wherever we are in the world. I mean, I've got Showmax, I've got Netflix, I've got DSTV Now, I've got all of those apps on my phone, so I don't miss anything. I've got YouTube, so we can watch shows like Tekkel. It's incredible that you've got this universe of entertainment in your pocket. I think that is possibly the most incredible shift that has happened, and it's still mind-blowing because it's getting better all the time. It's changing all the time. Tech is improving, and so forth. Therefore, we as the television industry, we've got to keep up with that.
No, for sure. Jolene, we mentioned in your introduction, without giving your age away, you've been in the industry for more than 20 years. You've seen it all. You've been here and there. You've been on the lotto. Your biggest highlight, if you need to maybe single out one of them, your biggest highlight up until this point, what would it be?
Well, I have absolutely no shame in mentioning my age. First of all, I would like to say that I'm my birthday's in September and I turned 41 years old. I am feeling incredible. Also,
wow.
At 41, I've just started Muay Thai fighting. So
Ooh.
for all of, yeah, I know that was fear I heard in your voice, right? I heard that. You better be scared. 41 years old, and I would say the highlight to date, before Arendsvlei started, I would have said the highlight was being the national broadcaster for Powerball, for being the live host for the National Lottery. But then I would have to say today, as I sit here, without a doubt, the highlight of my career thus far is playing Beatrice on Arendsvlei.
And speaking about Beatrice, we have one or two comments coming through. Somebody just saying hello, B. So I would assume B being Beatrice. Thanks for that comment, Kirsty. Jolene, you mentioned highlights. There must have been some lowlights. There must have been some moment that was, either a challenging one. Can you think of any that really stood out for you?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, at the top of the show, I say to you guys, well done for getting me on the show, because I find interviews sometimes hard because I believe in being completely authentic and completely open. And sometimes that can leave you at the end of the interview thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have let them in so much. But the fact of the matter is, I feel that we go through things in order to encourage other people who are going through the same thing. So I would say not the lowest, but the hardest point in my career for sure was having to go through a harrowing divorce whilst being the host of the National Lottery. That show was the most expensive amount of money spent per minute in television. So it was a lot of production value, evening gowns, jewels and stilettos and makeup and cars on set. And all of this was happening and I was just dying inside. It was so much work to have to produce a smile and pretend I was okay. And that is the hardest part of being in television. And I've had to do that sometimes, you know, throughout different points in my career when things are really not going that great. Maybe someone in the family has passed on or something's happening in the country. You've got to dig really, really deep at those times to produce something for the nation. And I had the most intense moment yesterday, kind of in this vein as well. I have my local laundromat and I just love my ladies at the laundromat. They're from Atlantis. They are the coolest chicks on the planet. And I went and fetched my laundry and I was feeling tired. I had a 12-hour day of notes on set the day before. So I was exhausted. She said, "Joe, you look tired." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." And she said, "You know what? Thank you. Thank you for everything you do to give us an escape at the end of our day." Well, I was in tears in the laundromat.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that
amazing.
was, I still carry that with me. That was so beautiful. It was just the biggest hug. It was exactly what I needed at that time. So yes, it is a lot of sacrifice to get through those low moments, but days like yesterday make it so worth it.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
just, and I think that is what this show is all about. And we'll get later on, we will obviously formally go into recognition or recognizing people which making a difference in our society. And you are obviously one of them. Before we get there, just to give you some insight or to give our viewers, and I see for Alberic is going crazy on the feed, on the social media feed. We'll get there now.
Yes.
Ek sien dis mense van Kimberley, Bloemfontein, Pretoria, is almal is op ons almal is hier op ons feed and sê hulle is I thought the name is Jolene, but I see she's Beatrice also on the feed. Before we get there, before we get to all the viewers coming into our show and obviously asking their questions, you're also a businesswoman. Yeah, you have something in the pipeline. Just share with us. Just give us some insight into that as well.
Yes. So this is the part of me that not many people know about, and I'm impressed that you guys have touched on it because not a lot of people dig that deeply into my CV. But I do have a production company. Yeah, kudos on you. Well done.
Têkkel live.
I have my own production company, and when I was in Johannesburg, I was producing corporate content. So, for instance, with a client like Dimension Data, if you walk onto their campuses, you would see these television monitors everywhere. And my company was producing the content that you would see on those screens. Wow. So my production company right now that I'm in Cape Town, we are working on our very first full-length feature documentary. And that is currently under research and development with the NFEF. So I have stepped behind the camera as well. I'm passionate about nonfiction in terms of producing, but in terms of acting, I just love telling a good story.
Fantastic. I think we'll before we get into your questions, Andy, there's a few comments that we'll run through, and people just showing some love. Yes, Tanya Sloster says, Jolene, you are phenomenal on Arendsvlei. Thanks for that, Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya.
Rosie Peterson says, Jolene is such an amazing woman. Love her role.
Thank you, Rosalind.
And then we have Grant van Schalke saying, hello, friendship. So proud that you are embracing life the way you do, and big ups to you for playing such an amazing role in the Vlei, Grant and Nicole.
Thank you, Grant and Nicole.
You probably recognize them.
Teresa, I know from social media, yes.
Okay, yeah, we call her friendship, so love her so much. So yeah, there's a lot of comments, people just saying love you and love the work you do. So Heini, you got something you wanna quick fire throw at Jolene quickly?
Yeah, no, for sure. Just to get some insight, this is something different on our show, guys. We have 30 seconds. We're gonna have 10 questions. I'm gonna fire away, Jolene. You just answer right away. We just want to get some insight, and obviously tomorrow you will answer differently. But here we go. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Rugby or soccer?
Soccer. Oh no, rugby. Rugby. My cousin is
let's take one. Your cousin is a storm. Oh yes, they're losing a lot. Let's say pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
You are a morning person or evening person?
Morning, because they pay me to wake up early.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
30 seconds. I just want to squeeze in one question quickly, because obviously our time has ran out. But if Jolene Martin needed to choose a vacation between going to the beach or going to the mountains, what would Jolene choose?
Definitely the beach.
And what would Beatrice choose?
Beatrice would choose the mountain.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's a new addition to our show, but that was nice. We had a few more questions, but 30 seconds and that was it. But Jolene, thanks so much for giving us some insight into that. Alberic, I can see there, there's a lot of people, and we need to say, we've got 45 minutes on the show. We can see there's people from all over the place. We will get to your comments now. But obviously, 45 minutes is all we have. So if we don't get to your question, just bear with us. I'm pretty sure we will show Jolene those questions after the show as well, and it will be on Facebook for all of us to handle. But that obviously a new addition to our show. And thanks so much, Jolene, for running through those 10 questions. It wasn't 10. We wanted to get to 10, but obviously, not to be tonight.
But Jolene, let's run through a few pictures. We mentioned earlier we were obviously going through your social media feed. So let's run through pictures. And I'm not too sure if a lot of our viewers have seen a couple of pictures. But we'll start off with the most special one we think, the one that we love. So have a look at Jolene. Back in 1987, Montague Drive Primary. How old were you at that age?
She didn't have a clue. She had no clue as to what was coming her way, that little girl.
That was 1987. So you would be what? 8 years old, roughly, at that age? 8? Roughly?
You guys can do the math. You're not going to embarrass me on your show.
But just give me some insight. Montague Drive Primary School. Where would that be? I'm thinking in Montague Drive, but my assumption might be wrong.
That's in Mitchell's Plain.
In Mitchell's Plain. Great.
And how long did you live there? I mean, you mentioned you moved out of Mitchell's Plain. How long were you in Mitchell's Plain?
Gosh, it's a great question. I must have been early teens or just entering my teens. Yeah.
Sure. And then also, Jolene, you've done some traveling also. You are in Rome.
That's right, and that's my dad behind me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And besides Italy,
Yeah.
where were you at? Did you do a whole Euro trip, or did you just do Italy?
Oh, that was so special, man. So the family wanted to go to Finland because my brother is in Finland and he was getting married. But then it was my 40th birthday that year. So my mother and my father surprised me by taking me to Italy. So that entire Italy leg and the
Wow.
Italy stay, that was my 40th birthday present from my parents.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Can you tell us more about this? You mentioned it earlier to us. You said that you do some work off screen. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yes. So this was my first visit to Heartland's baby sanctuary. The Heartlands reached out to me, and it was just such a heart-wrenching story. You know, we all suffered during COVID. We all went through the most during COVID. But because people were struggling financially, there were babies being abandoned and babies being discarded of, and Heartlands were taking in all of these newborn babies and infants and toddlers, and they were struggling to survive. So they said, Joe, we need you to come in, lend a helping hand, and see how we can raise awareness and raise funds for these kids. And I went in, and these are the nurses. These are the wonderful women that look after these babies.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
great.
That's
Brilliant.
Awesome. We got another picture. Felton was similar, and I think a lot of people don't necessarily or wouldn't know that he's actually the creator of Arendsvlei.
Yes. This man, Felton, is the genius behind Arendsvlei. He has got the most inspirational story. He dreamt up this Arendsvlei concept before he was even 20, I believe. And then, and now he is the producer, one of the producers on Arendsvlei, the show that has been hugely successful. That right there is one of my biggest inspirations. He's an incredible human.
Awesome. And I'm sure there's thousands of viewers out there would agree with you on that one. Jolene, we spoke about it earlier. You've raised interest around the rich history of the koi and the sand cultures. What drives this passion in you, and why is celebrating this heritage so important to you?
Sure. Again, let me say how extremely impressed I am with the amount of research you gentlemen have done and how deeply you've gone into the various layers that make up my passions. This is first and foremost front and center in terms of what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm extremely passionate about it, as you have said. About 4 years ago, I felt this desperate need to discover who I really am. And this is what the feature-length documentary is about. It is about me discovering my true identity. And I don't want to divulge too much about the documentary itself, but I need to let people know that the South African history didn't start in 1652. There was this beautiful history pre-1652 that for some reason we don't talk about. For some reason it's not in our history books. For some reason we are just not aware of it. And I try to bring awareness to it as much as possible so that we can restore pride in our brown people and our young brown people, because I see brown kids walking the streets of the Cape Flats like they don't know who they are and they have no hope. And what I see is young kings and queens. If only they knew they came from a royal bloodline of warriors, man. There's this region right under current day UCT, which was home to a warrior tribe, the Strandlopers. They were tall and strong. the women included. They were astute business people, entrepreneurs, because they had this refreshment station concept to all of these visiting nations. And the Dutch weren't the first to arrive in 1652. The Portuguese arrived way before them. There were so many battles that took place that we don't know about. We don't know who. I know more about Shaka Zulu than I do about Doman. And Doman was a warrior here in the Cape who fought in those first skirmishes between the Khoi and the Dutch. So my chest gets heated when I talk about it. On the 22nd of May, we're doing a fantastic event in Fish Hoek. Table Bay was also a hot spot for our tribal settlements. There is so much knowledge about this. And I want to say that the reason why it's coming, people are going to think we're into it because it's trendy. No, there's a resurgence in the interest of the Indigenous people right now because there is fresh scientific research coming to the fore right now. So I live in Bloubergstrand, and on this west coast, they are discovering shell middens. So people can go and research what shell middens are, but they are proof that the Khoi inhabited this entire stretch of coastline. So I'm walking around in the morning like I own it.
Got to.
on our intro, guys, and we will flight some of your comments coming through. Thanks, Jonathan. We said we speak about culture, we speak about sport, we speak about history. You just had a history lesson from Jolene Martin. I was sitting there and I didn't want it to stop. I was learning so much about the Khoi and the Sun culture, but that is what Tekkel is all about, is bringing those cultures, those untold stories, bringing it to the fore, sharing it with one another, and what an honor to just listen to someone who's done the research, who's walked the walk, and now talking the talk on our Têkkel Talk Show live. So keep that comments coming, guys. Jolene, obviously challenging time in South Africa. You obviously as Beatrice in Arendsvlei, but also, you know, as your many personas that you had to take to the stage. You've been a role model for so many of us. There's a lot of us without hope, with some despair, watching the show. We need some motivation. What would your message of motivation be to those people out there that's feeling, you know, the pinch of society, the pinch of what's happening around us with the coronavirus? Give us some hope. Be the shining light. What would your message be?
You know, I had to answer some interview questions via email a few days ago. And one of the questions was, Jolene, what motivates you? And what motivated me in my 30s is different to what motivates me in my 40s. It's different to what motivated me in my 20s. And I can say for sure now in my 40s, I've discovered the most beautiful motivation. And I would love, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this with people today. I've discovered that I am motivated by love. And I want to encourage everybody else to find love. So love what it is you do. And if you don't love what it is you do, find something you love, because life is too short to do something you don't love. Love the people you're with. Love your children, love your spouse, love your puppy. Just allow love to exist in your home. And teach your children how to be motivated by love as well. I get goosebumps when I talk about it. This morning, I did my very first yoga class, and my yoga teacher taught us a heart-opening exercise. And I thought to myself, gosh, that too is love. She's teaching us how to live with more love. And I would just urge people to research how to find love in your daily life. I know that we are going through a difficult time globally with regards to some religious issues, which I don't want to get into. But I do want to make a quick biblical reference, which is God is love. So whoever your God is, the verse is, the scripture is, God is love. So if you've lost the connection with God, then you've lost the connection with love. So to spend time by yourself and just find God again, and find God in the small things, and bring God into your life and into your home, it's going to change everything.
Wow.
Awesome. Fantastic. Couldn't have said it better. Anybody wants to copyright, we can actually copyright, trademark that. That was fantastic. Well
Wow.
done.
Yeah.
Thank
That was
you.
fantastic.
Speechless.
Oh,
But with that said, Jolene, thank you so much. Yeah, you mentioned, you touched on religion. We also want to just, acknowledge all our Christian viewers. Happy, blessed Ascension Day, and then also to our Muslim viewers, Eid Mubarak for you guys, and I hope you have a blessed time with your families. So yeah, no, thank you so much for your message. It's really inspiring, and I'm sure our viewers were too. There should be a lot of Beatrices running around. But remember, guys, she will be doing action movies soon, seeing that she's doing Muay Thai. So we'll look out. We'll be rooting all the way. So thanks, Jolene. Thanks for your message. That was
I
fantastic.
receive that prophecy over my life, young man.
Great stuff. So, guys, as you know, our show is far more about than just chatting to celebs, and like you saw in our intro, we say our theme is to encourage a culture of recognition. It's to say thank you to those people that's making a difference. And tonight again, Jolene Martin on our show, you've heard the impact that she's making. She's making people at laundromats cry. But it's not only about that, but it's the long hours you put in. It's the differences you make in the lives of people at charities of all nature. It's a role you play to bring culture and heritage to the fore, and educating guys like myself and Alberic, who didn't even know about the koi and the sand culture, bringing those to the fore, sharing your insight, sharing the skills that you have. And from our side tonight, we want to say you are making a difference. Whether it is as Jolene or whether it is as Beatrice, you are playing a major part in molding the leaders of tomorrow. And certainly, what an honor, what a privilege to have you on Têkkel Talk Show, and right up our alley of encouraging a culture of recognition. When we said culture, sport, and heritage, right in front of us, Alberic, Jolene Martin, she just fits the mold.
No, for sure. I think, yeah, exactly. She fits all three the titles. I think we normally look at our guests and we have either a sportsman or somebody from the heritage or culture. But she fits the mold in all three. So well done, Jolene. That's fantastic. Awesome.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be myself in my hoodie and Earth Day. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I really appreciate it, and thank you for your kind words.
Always a pleasure, and we hope that you will share that your very first live interview took place on Têkkel Talk Show Live on a Thursday evening. So guys, what an honor, what a pleasure, what a difference maker, what a mover, what a shaker. I'm excited. Jolene Martin of Têkkel Talk Show Live at Têkkel Talk Show YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Share the love, share the culture, and say thank you to your neighbor, because we want to make a difference. If we can make a difference, you can as well. So guys, that is all we have time for. Alberic and Jolene, thanks so much. Guys, until next time, cheers.